Usually during a semester I keep notes, especially if I'm trying a new assignment or a new strategy or a teaching technique, and I'll make notes to myself about how I would change this or if I would retain it for a previous semester. So I review those notes before beginning a new semester with a new class. So the most important thing for me on the first day of class is to set the right tone for the class. A writing class ultimately is a community of writers, and students have to make the move from thinking about just completing the assignments to being part of that community of writers. So it's really important for me that the students feel relaxed. They get a sense that this is a place that will be characterized by their active participation, that they are the community, that the class isn't just about me. I want them to feel relaxed. I want them to think about the course as a place where they do their work, but the classroom as a fairly safe and supportive space. It might be rigorous and challenging, but in a way that's engaging, or at least that's my hope. So on the first day, I want to set the tone. I want them to know that I'm approachable, that we're going to work together as writers. I want them to get a sense that the class is going to be a lot of work, but I want to convey a sense of excitement. So I usually have some set of activities or some little mini lesson or activity or lecture that will establish key themes about what I will focus on in writing over the course of the semester. The other thing that I want to do is I want them to get to know one another. If they were in a high school class, they would know each other. In a college class, they don't, but they're going to be working really closely together. So in just about every class I teach, on the first day, one of the key activities is a get acquainted activity. And I do various things. I sometimes will borrow ideas from colleagues. A typical assignment would be an interview assignment where I have students pair up, give them a set of generic questions to interview one another, and then introduce each other to the class, usually with a focus on their writing experiences. And the whole idea is to get them comfortable with one another and to convey the idea that we're going to work together. This is going to be a community of writers. I learned a lot of things that I already knew, which is that a lot of students don't want to be in a writing class, especially if it's a required part of the general ed curriculum. I learned something about who the kids are. Are they typical first-year students? Are there transfer students? Are there returning students? People who've been in the military and maybe put off college, for example. So I get to know something. The Get Acquainted exercise, for example, helps me find out a little about who they are, where they're from. I usually will ask them to do a little bit of writing in which they confide something about how they feel about writing, and some stuff is pretty typical. I hate writing, I'm not good at it, that kind of thing, but you'll get little gems that will clue you in on how the students are thinking about what will happen in the class. And then I learn a little bit about the concerns that they might have and also their expectations, some of which are in line with mine and some of which aren't, and so I can address those. For instructors, I think there's a need to remind ourselves that it takes some time. The stuff that we see early on, especially some problematic writing, doesn't mean that's what they're capable of. It just means that's their starting point. And be prepared for the unexpected. If you teach, it doesn't take long before something will happen that you didn't plan for and you're not really sure what to do about. But that's part of the game, and over time you figure that out.